Okay, hey Miguel. So now it is time for this one, the Navigator. In my opinion, the greatest of all the 6117s. The other one's the regular World Times. The way that they look with sort of the big, I don't know, it's just the colors don't really work for me. This, I think, is a lot more usable. If it had an independently settable GMT hand, it'd be awesome. Okay, your moon triangle is missing here. The rest of the watch is original. Maybe I'll find that pip in there inside if it came off in a single sheet, which is what they do. The silver paint that backs underneath these loom pips, that can separate and it just shears along that line, and then it's off to the races. So it comes off typically in one piece rather than in dust. These are cool. Unusually for Seiko, cases all polished, and that is the way they go. I don't know why these aren't more popular. They're just the coolest of all the 6117s. I like them. The only one I think I like as much is, oh god, that really early first gen 6217 World Times. Those things are cool. Hey, that's the wrong case back seal. It's an O-ring. That doesn't help us. No servicing marks inside the case back. Lubrication haze. Plates are all bevel style. Yeah. You can see that, I mean, I don't even know why I bother showing, but you can see this thing moving around. Look at the top of that head. The lower port is not happy. But let's begin. Let us begin. Plan to stay. Well, that's not what I wanted to have happen, but it doesn't matter. I'll go get it. Anyway, sorry, that was my eldest. Would you get out of there? Anyway, my eldest came in because she's hungry. I told her it is not lunchtime. Boy, I know they say that kids eat a lot of food, but my goodness, do kids eat a lot of food. It's like our son, he just simply doesn't stop eating. Come on, out we get. Let's find that screw there. It bounced inside. I can see it. It's right there. Okay. So that means I just anyway, which is to pull this winding bridge and the pallet bridge. You got to make sure the automatic winding mechanism bridge is off. Otherwise, you can't let down the mainspring. Another original watch. turned. I don't think it's in bad shape. Okay. Sorry if you hear the screaming in the background. Kids are not yet back to school, and so they're still bouncing off the walls. No, that was okay. Thank you. Good. That's better. That's still just wicked loose, though. Silver. Now, with 6117s, they use because they have the additional 24-hour wheel, they use an old school system for keeping everything in place, which includes a warpy spring washer. So this is a nice piece for working on these because it supports everything through the ring. Beautiful dial. Come on. Let's go. There we go. Come on. There. God, do they ever not fight? Now with this high hand stack, I like getting underneath them free and clear because these things don't have, these 6117 hands don't have a collar around the tube on the hand because of the stack height. It has to include this extra hand. And there it is. Cool. All right, let's get this dial off of here. Simple turn. Simple turn. Oh, yep, and there it is. I wanted to sort of have the reveal, but that's okay. So with these 6117s, you kind of have to go in through the front to begin with. So anyway, there's the 24-hour wheel, and because the added 24-hour wheel, they have to cut a section out of the date dial guard to put the additional wheel on, and to keep it in place, it's got to have this warpy washer, and they're great when they work, right up until they don't. Oh my goodness! All right. The little cannon pinion's not gripping quite as strongly as I'd like. I will look at that as we get into it. Yeah, it looks clean enough. The 6119 is a modified 6105, essentially. It's a 6105B with a hacking, which means it's a modification of the 6105, which itself is a modification of the 6106, but they're all in the same family. There. Movement ring. Now it's going to sit where I want it to. Now the one thing that's always tricky with these doing a 6105 is that 6105s have the lower mainspring arbor port is cut out on one side, and so when you're machining that out, you have to be real careful because there's a whole bunch of material not there on one side, and it'll tend to want to grind into that side, which means all of a sudden your thing is not centered and it doesn't work. You can see it, there it is. There's this main part of the plate, and here's this thin part. And so when you start machining this out, the thin part will give first, and you'll end up with this over here, and then your mainspring won't work, and it will be, not your mainspring, your watch will be effectively dead. Always something to be careful with. It's the usual thing. Ask me how I know all that. Also uses a unique date wheel that's much flatter, again, to deal with that stack height. What's that blue flake right there? Is that paint? No? Probably was a piece of paint. These inserts, if you flex the crystal too much, the ring will flex and all this paint will just shatter off. Again, ask me how I know that. Hang on. So for that reason, I leave the minute wheel bridge here in place because it is the same level as this section of plate, which means I can leave it in and it will help keep things centered. Ditto for this. Hey, look at that. Okay, let's flip this thing over. Let's look what's really going on. Yeah, these 6117s, you think they're relatively simple. Certainly a lot simpler than a chronograph, but these, because of the sort of loose construction of the calendar side, these can have all kinds of just devilish gremlins. This is another low miles watch. Just doesn't have a whole lot on it. Haze of old lubrication. Whoa, look at all that oil. Where the hell did that come from? Holy cow. And somebody must have been in here. Isn't that odd? Is this loom? Look, and it's still liquid. Somebody was having some fun over there. Yeah, a whole bunch of oil around this. You don't lubricate this thing at all. That's the setting lever. Well, that's not good, because oil in the wrong place will get onto the wrong things, and then you're going to start having all kinds of running problems. There's that. Why? Jeez, I really do apologize. Yeah, that was a lot of oil. Got to clean that up. I'll clean that up by hand. Okay, good. That's not metal damage. It was... The heck was it? It was just oil? Yeah. I don't know why Seiko uses that lever type in a bunch of different models. Sometimes they have this really wide channel for it. Sometimes it's a lot narrower. There are some questions I don't have answers to. That's one of them. Yeah. There's only dried remnants of lubrication on these. It's like just a stain. Oh, look, and whoever was in here, there was dried lubricant on the lower, the jewel for the pallet fork pinion. Okay, let's look at our mainspring. It's nice and solid to open. Pretty clean though. Okay, there's your mainspring. I'll get that all cleaned up. And now I got to pull the keyless works and everything apart. All that crap out of there. Come on. Oh right, no, I gotta do that first before I strip this stuff out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the machining. I'll put in the jewels and clean, and then we'll come back. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, and we're back. Hey, my visor's on upside down. That doesn't help anyone. Let's see. Okay, so everything's out of the cleaner, and I've started reassembling. Die shock is in. Now I'm starting to look at the train and just checking everything over. There's your lower mainspring arbor jewel right there. And here is there's the upper. You can see it right there. That nice, beautiful purple ring right there. There you go. So now I'm going to dry fit. Time to dry fit. Move this more like this. That way we all can see. It's always the big first thing always to check. Gotta make sure that arbor is where it needs to be. Oh, come on. You stop it. There. Gosh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's, darn it. Would you stop fighting me? All right. Would you stop fighting me? There we go. Gosh. I shouldn't have. Like that. Oh, where did I put it? Well, I guess you'll do. Well, there isn't really anything for this thing to blow around. Nope. The jewels are exact in size, but I do see variation on the size of the arbors. And sometimes arbors are just, they're not tight, but they don't just fly around. And that's not a terrible thing, but let's try this trick over here. Let's try that one more time. Yeah, because the bushings definitely have more slop. These jewels, they do not have slop. Okay, I want to check the adjustment on that jewel. Believe it or not, that took like 40 minutes for that one little thing. So what I ended up having to do was I went through first and I checked I checked a number of these jewels against each other. They're all exactly the same. This is your original mainspring arbor, which I had to replace. This one is actually a little oversized. Normally, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for that to be oversized because the original metal bushings aren't quite as tight a tolerance as that. They're a little, it's a different thing. So this is a matched set. I did replace it. I'm going through basically and checking a whole bunch of different stuff. And now, you'll remember the last time I tried this trick, it did not move. There. That is what it is supposed to do. It's ridiculous. Okay, got us that matched set. Upper arbor bushing. Let's put those away. I don't need need my Zeitz anymore. That can go back. Put the Zeitz away. Close that. That goes down there. That goes there. Okay. So now, after what should have been a 10-second check, and the problem with it being up here on the top, on the bottom, the arbor was fine. On the top, it was binding up on yours. The problem with that can be is that it makes it harder for the automatic winding to wind, and which means that you could have power reserve issues if that's dragging. So we want to make sure that he is right. And no, it is. That's why you just gotta test fit stuff. Gotta dry fit. Gotta dry fit. And I know it might, I tried it there. There's a few watch repair maxims that I live by. One of which is never ever take your eyes off anything that you're moving by tweezer. You just watch it no matter where you are. Otherwise you look down and you're like, wait, where'd that thing go? Ask me how I know. Okay, good. That's great. That alignment is correct of the teeth against this. Oops, God, I'm not showing you guys anything. I suck. You see the perfect alignment there between the teeth and the mainspring and the center wheel. Just a hair underneath that top angle. Come on, come on. Yeah, that's great. That's great because this was really binding up. Okay, so let's leave that. No screw here so I remember that nothing is lubricated. That is not what I need, but, you know, whatever. I'll need it soon enough. And up there. Wheels, wheels, wheels. Out. Okay. Oh, right. I don't want this in here for doing that. It's not necessary. What am I doing that for? I already checked that. Get out. Out, 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 out. Ugh. Fine. There. There we go. That looks good. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, that's cool. I probably would save a lot of time if I just went through the trouble of taking off that click spring. But I don't. I should, but I don't. Oh well. Make sure I'm still on screen here. Ooh, that's nice too. That's nice too. Wow! Look at it go! Oh my God! Look, it's turning so freely. You can see where it has. It started turning on its own backwards, so it must have had it ever so slightly out of balance, and there's so little resistance that it could turn that way. That's crazy. Okay. So, okay, time to move ahead because the fourth wheel is its own issue, and I have to have the center wheel bridge in place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on now. Yeah. Good. The screw for that center wheel cock is always circular, brushed, and flat. It has the same thread and length as some other screws, but that's the only one that's just like that one, I believe. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, I don't know. I say we think about it. Every day, thinking. There you are. There's your hacking lever. Pull the crown. This lever goes down, and this one goes pick, and it comes out, and the whole thing stops. I want to get this running. I am out of time. I'm out of time today. But I want to get it running, and I can check in on her tomorrow. These bushings look pretty good. I don't think this watch had a lot of miles either. I really don't. Or hours, I should say. One should say. Oops, come on. Oh, is it doing that thing? No, it's not. Wow. You always have to be careful with assembling something like this with has a hacking lever, because especially on these, the hacking lever sometimes can mysteriously ride up for some reason instead of sitting down where it's supposed to be, and it makes dropping the bridge on impossible. Come on. Come on. Boy. Come on. Turn, turn. Do I hear someone?
Yeah, sorry, I need to get something.
Oh, it's okay. Gosh darn it, come on. Is that up? No, let me just double check, right? That's down, that's down. Come on. Yeah, you're floating on that fourth wheel and pinion. People are like, why are you using an X-Acto knife? Because I'm extremely familiar with them. I grew up using them. I'm real handy with them because I started life doing small things in modeling. So I ended up using X-Actos all the time. That's what I'm used. It's one of the tools I'm used to using, and so that's what I use. There we go. Look at that. I keep thinking about building another model, and I'm like, it's fun, but I'm not a big fan of working with plastic models. So, and the really nice, super nice metal ones are expensive. I don't need to build models or anything. Where in the heck would I put it? Spin up the train. Sounds good. Yeah, and the mainspring barrel is exactly where we want it. Okay, good. And it's, see how the escape wheel sort of glided to a halt rather than just going and stopping? That's also what you want. Because there's nothing more fun than, like, it doesn't happen very often, but I've seen it where you get, where jewels or bushings are actually cockeyed, and then you're getting binding because they're not at the same attack. And that's fun chasing that one down, but if you dry fit, you hopefully can isolate the issue, which is what we did with the upper and lower mainspring arbor jewels. I tested the bottom one was fine. Tested the upper one was binding. So I knew the watch would run, but I knew that it would also not wind efficiently. That is exactly not what I wanted to have happen. Get out of there. Big old stripe of lubrication on that wheel. Let's see if I can get that off of there. Hopefully I won't have to pull it and clean that again. I'd just do a dip on it, but still. Now I get to relubricate the pallet fork. Let's check it out. That's the thing. You gotta get that lubrication right. Because every school child knows The right lubrication in the wrong place is just as bad as no lubrication at all. There's that. Oh, come on. Did I already get that one? No. Stop. It's because, no, that's right. That one I got, yes. Yes. Stop fighting me. You're not going to win. Okay, there we go. Let's try this again. Oh, jeez, it's really late. I'm not even supposed to still be down here, but I really want to get this rolling. Because it'll make tomorrow much more smooth. Okay. No. Yeah, I thought so. There. I'm all about making tomorrow go smooth. Always want to check those jewels. Make sure they are clean. Okay, and we're back. A little bit of power. Okay. Sure this is up where it needs to be. Yes. Okay, so now the glorious moment. Hooray. Well, it's running. Let us Is that really wiggling? A little. I'm gonna have to look at that bridge. Hopefully the you don't have warm pinions. Something like that. But before I say anything, let's look at the numbers. Okay, so it's the usual thing. We're going to look at the numbers, and I'll take this off screen so I can do any adjustments if any are needed. Because I got to be And I haven't done a darn thing. I've done nothing to this watch in terms of accuracy or beat error. Nothing. Well, it's a good place to start. So it's got 0 beat error, and it's losing a little bit of time, but you know, honestly, not enough to mess with right now, because I wanted to run in and readjust. Yeah, I could get it to flat accuracy, but honestly, I'm late for dinner, and I want to go upstairs, and tonight is upon us. Those are good preliminary numbers. Let's flip it over and see those numbers now. So, stop it. We see our numbers there. Let me get this off. Those in there. Just like that. Come on. Stop fighting me. Almost there, folks. Okay, so there we are. So we ready? Put that over there. Nice. Okay, let's go. No idea what we're going to see. Very consistent numbers up and down. That's great. That's great. That's a great place to start. Okay, this baby got to run in. And it's done. I'm done. I'm done. It's over. I will reuse it. We'll see what happens for tomorrow. I just like looking at the numbers. I mean, who doesn't, right? Come on, give me something good. Ooh, there you go. Look at that. There's a scoop of ice cream. I think we're going to get some good values out of this one. Very, very steady numbers. Come on, gimme. You'll see this thing, as I said, is as everything runs in, the amplitude will go up, and then it will go down a little bit. It'll go up, and then it'll go down a little bit. Then it'll go up, and it'll go down a little bit. And it'll go up, and it'll go down a little bit. So it's have to, you know, it has to sort of do its stretches. And like, anyway, as I was saying, and then forgot to say, so the thing with one of these old school ones that has the free floating, you know, 24-hour wheel and 12-hour wheel, all that stuff, is that the dial, instead of just being this pretty thing sitting there, is an integral part of the calendar mechanism, without which it will not function. There's your caseback date, by the dial date, by the way, 3/6. There it is. Isn't that pretty? So let me screw this together, and then I'm gonna look at the numbers again, but then I'm gonna want to set the hands, and the clearances on this is super tight, so I got to be right on top of it. Oh, what else was I gonna tell you? Oh, you remember I found that little teeny tiny blue flake of paint inside the movement? There were more of them inside the crystal, tiny flakes, just from the edge of your indicator ring. It's a tiny amount of blue. They tend to chip off like this. It's nothing to worry about. It's just something to be aware of. Whatever you do, don't ever squish the crystal on that thing. If you ever get a need where you have to replace that crystal. Good morning. Oh, I forgot my microphone. This might be loud. Hold on. Here we go. Good morning, it's a beautiful day. I still haven't done any adjustments to it. I put the dial and hands on it and got everything all set and let it run. Excellent, yeah, baby, yeah, look at that, cool, kick ass, that's awesome. Okay, well, let me put it together. It's running at 246, nice and steady. I went and I reloomed this pip there for you. That's in place. 243. I'm sitting here talking to you and watching them numbers. Let's get another thingy on here. Still 243. Oh, there you go. I'll clean up that top edge a little bit, but that's what it's supposed to look like. Cool. So now, 245. Okay, I want to get this thing bolted together and get on with the day. 245. Just hanging out. 245. Okay. I'm going to put it together. Okay. I was just getting ready to button this thing up and pat myself in the back. And then I realized that you, in fact, had provided and reminded me that you had a new old stock indicator ring. So I didn't need to do any of that relooming silliness. So anyway, there's that. This watch, it's beautiful. It's ready to go. Numbers are awesome. No beat, error, flat. I'm going to have to take this back apart and then swap out this, and we'll go from there. Okay, back in a moment. And that is the end of that story. Whoops, I didn't set the time. Oh, hang on. Oh, wait, no, yes, I did. No, I didn't. Okay, hang on a second. Good Lord, what time is it? It is 7:46. I'll call it 7:47. Because, of course, I'm not running a minute counter on this thing. Well, you know what? Heck with it. I'll fine-tune it later. Today's the 11th, you say. There. There's the new ring in. Here is the old ring. If you don't want this, let me know. I might have a use for it. If you do want it, that's perfectly fine. Not a big deal. And I don't know, that's about it. I have the bracelet that this came on. It's interesting. It's a Seiko bracelet, but it's a modern Seiko bracelet. It fits this watch perfectly, but I don't know. I need to look up the NLink codes and it'll tell me. But anyway, these really are the greatest of the 6117s. Isn't that pretty? All right, man, that's it. I thank you so much, and we'll figure everything else out. And that's it. Bye.